Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Autarch, and this video is something. Yep, it's something, because I do some things I do not normally do, and do not necessarily recommend, except under very, very specific circumstances. However, I really did want to cover the fact that Punk was buffed, and this goes into it a little bit, but not quite in the way that you think. We're going to start with 3-cost champion and see if that guides us at all, and in reality it doesn't, because we're not going in this direction. Let's look at the first set of augments. Nothing particularly thrilling here. Best friends could work for a lot of different builds, but we're not going to go ahead and take it. Now, we have used 2 healthy before, but we're going to use it a little bit differently this time, because it does work kind of well in a punk build, since Twitch is a 2-cost and Pantheon is a 2-cost. So you're going to have some 2-costs right off the bat, and if you bring in more 2-costs, your team is going to get a lot stronger. Now, the direction of this game was really made for me when we found the Punk Jinx, and I went, okay, you know what? We can try doing some type of full Punk build along with 2 healthy, and let's see how that works out. And I did not expect this to be a fast start in the same way that rapid fire Jinx is, because while the trait works, it builds slowly over the course of the match instead of giving you power right up front. Now, as far as how to build this out, I'm a little torn. I want to go Guardians in front because I find that to be very effective, but I can only really get to 4 Guardians if I'm going to commit to Punk, and also want to bring in Executioner so I can make Twitch strong. So I'm about 2 champions short of what I need. As far as item choices go, there is no real slam dunk here, so I'm going to grab the Tear of the Goddess, because that can be used to make a Hand of Justice that can go on Twitch or Jinx depending on how the match turns out. Unfortunately, I just haven't gotten the champions or the items yet to really form what I think is a cohesive team or strategy. So I'm going to need something radical to change in this game for me to feel that there's going to be a chance to pull it out of the basement where it is right now. Then enter the second set of augments that is going to drastically change the game. Jeweled Lotus does not work for what I want to do, so I'm going to go ahead and roll that. But Cursed Crown, that I usually do not recommend, is going to solve a couple of problems. This will allow me to get to the 6 Guardians I feel I'm going to need to pull this off, while allowing me to keep the Punks, some Rapid Fire, and the Executioners I think it's going to take to win. But it's a huge gamble, because if you lose at the wrong time, it's over really fast. And at this point, we've somewhat reverted over to a Rapid Fire Guardian build with a Garen just standing in there because we hadn't gotten an additional Guardian. We've been looking for a Mumu, but he just has not shown up yet. But we're going to need him to finish out this build, because a Mumu is always the center point. But right now, we're just overwhelming everyone with numbers. Now, things get even more interesting for this build when we get our next item choice. And we have sparring gloves on the side that go very well with a spatula to create a Punk emblem, which would now allow us to get to the 6 Punks. And with a couple of little changes, we can do that right now, because Vi will now work in for Garen, and we now have 6 Punks on the board. 6 Punks is now a lot stronger than it was when this set started. It's gotten buffed here and there, and it's not that it's going to overwhelm, but especially with 2 additional players, it's gonna be pretty strong. It is time for our final set of augments, and nothing here that is really exciting. We're gonna go ahead and re-roll everything and hope we get something that will work. A lot of times I find silver ones at the end just aren't gonna do it. Partial Ascension could work, but we're killing fast. So I decide to go with Sticks and Stones. Then, just to make use of these particular items, I go with a Static Shiv, which I know is not going to matter for the front line, but it will shred magic resist in the back line, since our front line is going to shred magic resist as part of Sticks and Stones. And normally I wouldn't recommend just slamming items like that. However, because we're running Cursed Crown, I wanted to make sure I didn't lose, because, again, if you lose, it's going to be a big loss. It would be 8 points right now, which would leave us 1 hit from death. We managed to 3-star the Jinx and gave her a Death Blade in the NPC round, but what I find most fascinating about this particular level is that it's our 2-star Twitch that ends up leading the damage charts. With that in mind, went into the next set of items. Could have gotten the Bramble Vest for Mumu, but remember, we're running Sticks and Stones, so we want to keep items necessarily off the front line. So we just get another Static Shiv for Twitch, who will be now attacking faster and putting more magic damage into their backline. And I've got almost all the elements I need. I'm just going to want to find a Yorick who I can put in to become the 6th Guardian after we can 2-star the Thrush and get him into the game as well. Right now we're keeping the backline strong to make sure we keep winning. The problem with Cursed Crown is you don't get to make many mistakes. I should have gone up to the 6 Guardians at this point to keep that front line strong, but I had been relying so much on the back line because they had been working so well that, yeah, when you go down, you lose a ton of points. However, lucky for us, we still ended up into the top 4, but it is time to put something on the front line that will give it a little more beef, so we pick up a Warmogs for a Mumu and bring Thresh into the game, so we now have the 6 Guardian, 6 Punks. Now, one nice thing with Cursed Crown is that when you're in danger of going out because you have less than 6 points anyway, it doesn't matter anymore and you're just getting a bonus. We lose this fight, we were out with or without Cursed Crown, but having additional players certainly helped us win. Final item choices of the game, and we want the Bramble Vest for a Mumu. Since we already have an item on him, we might as well make him as strong as possible. We are a couple of Vexes away from gold, so we're looking to see if there's any chance we're going to fill that out. We do end up 2-starring the Lucian, which is going to certainly help our backline. We have another Yorick, but we need one more. Final item. Let's make Kate a little stronger. Since she is a Punk, she is picking up the Punk bonus, which we are getting the maximum. So we're pretty good to go with this team, provided someone doesn't end up with a 3-star 4-cost or 5-cost. But having the extra players are going to be key. You can see here that Akali ends up getting stuck into the corners, while Vex and Twitch are just left alone to continue to do damage, and even their Sona can't really help them through this. This is where you see the Punk buffs really helping out. Because of the increased health, Caitlyn and Jinx are able to withstand Akali and just keep hammering away at the opposing team. Akali just isn't having that much of an impact on this game, in large part thanks to the Punk buff keeping our champions up when they otherwise would have gone down in a regular rapid-fire Guardian build. And then one of the problems I've always found with KDA is how static it is your board is pretty set, so we are able to now set up knowing pretty much where everyone's going to be. They can shift them around in those circles, but unless they take them out of them completely, it's going to be difficult. Our power centers are Caitlyn and Jinx, so we move them into the middle and allow Akali to just get stuck on the outsides trying to deal with Twitch and Lucian. That allows Caitlyn and Jinx to keep beating away at the team, ultimately leading to GG for everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give Punk a try in this new patch. It's greatly improved, but I would suggest getting Guardians with it. And as always, have an absolutely awesome day.